A truly remarkable life story linked to the city where President Biden is holding the G7 meetings with other world leaders today. Hiroshima, Japan. That is where the U.S. dropped the first atomic bomb, 8:15 a.m. in the morning in August of 1945. The civilian death toll was truly catastrophic, the carnage extreme, but the U.S. had calculated this was what was necessary to end World War II. Weijia Zhang sat down with a woman who lived in Hiroshima when the bomb was dropped nearly 80 years ago. She is one of the few residents still alive to share this story.
For Tayeko Shitama,
hungry, everyone?
Cooking is about much more than food.
Put more. Nice.
It is a way to preserve history.
Great-grandma has food.
And this dish...
Thank you for having all of this wonderful food.
Thank you for making it.
...is at the heart of her story of survival.
Would you like some more?
Sukiyaki, Japanese hot pot, was the first real meal her family ate together after World War II ended nearly 80 years ago.
And that night, we went and bought beef and all kinds of stuff to make sukiyaki. And we ate so much, we got sick.
It was a meal that almost never happened. Shitama was 22 years old, living in Hiroshima, Japan in August 1945, when the U.S. dropped an atomic bomb over the city. But Shitama was not there. The day before, she had taken a train to a friend's house a few towns over to pick up a bag of rice. When she returned to the Hiroshima train station the next day, she faced a land ravaged by war.
No streetcar was running, and it was flat, completely flat. So I was able to walk from the East End train station, 8 rivers, 8 bridges to home with this big bag of rice that she gave me.
You took the bag of rice all the way home?
Of course. Rice was rationed.
Shitama did not see a living soul on the several-mile trek to her family's home. When she arrived 4 miles from the epicenter of the bomb, the house was still standing, but the neighborhood was devastated.
Every piece of glass was broken.
The blast killed an estimated 140,000 people, including Shitama's youngest sister, Nobu. She was on a streetcar in the city when the bomb hit.
Were you angry at the United States?
I was angry about the war, but I thought it was awfully cruel to use atomic bomb on people.
Shitama was born in Seattle after her parents immigrated there from Japan. At the age of 8, Shitama moved to Japan with her siblings for school. Then, when World War II ended, Shitama and her surviving siblings were on the first ship back to the U.S. to reunite with their parents.
Oh, when we first saw them, we all cried and cried and cried. We were so happy to see them.
Shitama does not harbor resentment toward America for the bomb, and she's proud of the friendship between the U.S. and Japan.
These are beautiful.
At the National Bonsai Museum in Washington, D.C.,
From Miyajima. Oh.
a nearly 400-year-old bonsai tree was also in Hiroshima when the bomb dropped.
This tree survived the atomic bombing.
Atomic bomb, yeah.
And so did you.
Yeah.
And not many people can say that.
If trees could talk.
Shitama got married to a fellow Japanese American and went on to raise 3 children in Maryland. Now they have 12 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren.
That's my story.
All of whom have heard her remarkable tales over decades.
Who is that?
That's me.
And some just starting to learn them. Stories not only about survival, but about family and forgiveness.
And all those great-grandbabies, all those grandchildren will be together to celebrate Ty. That's what her friends and family call her. At the end of the month when she turns 100 years old. And get this, her 2 sisters who also survived the atomic bomb, they will be turning 96 and 98 years old. So you know I had to ask the secret. And I love to hear it, guys. It wasn't diet and exercise. Ty says if you want to live a long life, eat a lot of rice, which for me was very validating, growing up eating 3 meals with rice a day. Tony.
Oh wow! I had rice for dinner last night. Ouija, it's a very powerful piece. I love the sparkle in her eye all these years later, and so wise what she had to say there. She doesn't harbor resentment toward the U.S. What she resented was the war. What she hated was the war. What was it like for you sitting across from her all these years later, hearing that kind of wisdom?
Tony, that's exactly what struck me, is that someone who survived something so devastating, who lost a loved one after this, who really could have been traumatized and let this guide her entire life. Instead, she says she chose to live every moment of her life that she was given to the fullest. She chose grace, she chose forgiveness, she chose to focus on that huge, beautiful family of hers, and not to be angry, and certainly not to hold any resentment, because she says she's such a proud American who came back here to visit her, to be with her parents once again, and to live out the rest of her life. So even though it was so devastating, she says that she was better for it because it made her stronger.
I think there's a second secret there to a long life. Rice, and you've got to forgive and then live for the moment you're in. Ouija, thank you very much. It's a beautiful story.